Hotshots, ground crews, helicopter teams, and more are working on wildfires that are burning in the interior right now. This video coming from the Division of Forestry at the site of the Goldstream fire today. Well, good evening. Fire danger growing across the state. Thousands of personnel staffing intense and dangerous fires tonight. Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry is tracking the conditions that are triggering evacuations in the Fairbanks area. Melissa.
Yeah, John, a lot to track as we're going into this holiday weekend, but that increased wildfire activity is leading to increased evacuation levels in two different areas of the interior. The Nenana Ridge complex southwest of Fairbanks is under a level 3 go evacuation order. This is from the Parks Highway from milepost 325 to 330. Travel in this area is not advised. Those needing to travel should be prepared for pilot car guidance when it is open. And southeast of Fairbanks, people along the middle and lower Salcha River are being told to be ready to evacuate at a moment's notice, as the weather is a major factor of where these flames will go next.
In order to determine how dangerous it is, it's what are the weather patterns happening right now, and with the red flag weather concerns that we've got, the hot, dry, windy conditions, in combination with where the property is and where people go, is what we look at.
And you do want to watch out for changes in traffic patterns. Drivers along the Elliott Highway near mile 15, for example, are asked not to stop on the road or the shoulder due to the nearby Himalaya fire. Warm and dry conditions are expected into the weekend, but the danger isn't limited to just the interior. Other regions are experiencing conditions that are prime for wildfire starts. Now, joining us tonight is Anchorage Fire Department Captain Richard Minkler. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us here tonight. I do want to start with the wildfire response. Now, you are just at that Bear Creek fire, one of the largest fires in the state, now close to 30,000 acres. What was your experience like there?
So the Anchorage Fire Department sent a task force to assist the State of Alaska Division of Forestry on the Bear Creek incident. Our main role up there was to do structural assessment, structural triage, and then to develop and implement a structure protection plan. This included both thinning and removal of fuels using chainsaws and hand crews, as well as building and placing sprinklers around all different properties, along with folded tanks. Should the fire come, they'd be a standalone and left in place protection plan.
Got to have those crews on the ground. Now, this is a big holiday weekend and one that often comes with extra risk. What should people be keeping in mind when they're thinking about lighting fireworks, going camping, setting campfires, even just traveling across the state?
Yeah, well, the first thing we want to remind people of is fireworks are not allowed in the municipality of Anchorage at any time. So the 4th of July and New Year's Eve are always really big celebrations, and the Anchorage Fire Department does do extra staffing to accommodate the possibility of increased calls. Along with that, we always want to tell people to practice fire safety, but especially on this weekend, with the hot and dry conditions that we've experienced for the past week, with little to no precipitation for quite some time, the fire danger is currently at high, with the possibility of going to very high over the next day or two. So with that, just be safe. If you're going to have barbecues, those are allowed, either gas or charcoal. Any open flame or any open fire, campfires, burn barrels where people tend to burn trash or construction debris, those are not allowed with the current burn ban in place. So if you are going to have barbecue, we always recommend that you move it away from the house, possibly have a hose line in place if you're going to have it on the lawn if you have nowhere else. But we really want to get the message across to people to practice fire safety this weekend, because we are looking at the possibility of a wildfire moving through Anchorage quite rapidly with the current conditions.
Right, and if people are unsure what the regulations are like for their area, how would they check on those?
So the Anchorage Fire Department has a website. It's wildfire.muni.org, and on there they can look and see, and it shows each and every day what the burn ban is, or if it's allowed, and what conditions that precipitate that. So we always recommend people do that each and every day, especially those on the hillside. Anchorage Fire Department's been conducting a large number of Firewise home assessments, and we always include that in our packet to the people to go on to that, and it will alert people also, of changing conditions, which we want to definitely make sure the public is aware of.
All right. Thank you, Anchorage Fire Department Captain Richard Minkler. We appreciate you joining us this evening. Sounds like people need to just be smart this weekend. Now, I do want to talk about those weather conditions. Widespread red flag warnings and heat advisories are in place. This is from the central interior, the Canadian border, all the way west into Seward Peninsula throughout the Brooks Range. This is where temperatures are climbing. And I added the wind speeds here to show you that that is a major factor as we head into this weekend. Should a fire start that is not already there, these winds could cause it to spread and grow very rapidly. And then all of the fires that we do have burning, again, firefighters are going to be watching those winds closely to determine, again, where those flames are headed next. So we do have hot and dry conditions all the way through Saturday, those winds picking up for the interior. And that heat advisory extending for all of the areas that you see highlighted here in orange. Right now, it's 80 degrees in Fairbanks, 74 in McGrath. We're seeing those mid-70s in Kotzebue, upper 60s in Anchorage, just slightly above normal for South Central. We're going to kick it up a notch tomorrow at this time, upper 60s, mid-80s in Fairbanks, Juneau in the mid-60s, still at 70 degrees in Bethel. And if you do have plans to travel down to the 4th of July parade in Anchorage, really pleasant conditions to get out and about and enjoy it. Temperatures at 60 degrees when the parade kicks off at 11:65 degrees by noon. And if you're headed to the 4th of July weekend in Seward for Mount Marathon, looking at nice conditions there as well. 65 and mostly sunny on Friday. We'll see the clouds rolling back in on Saturday, but any significant rain is going to hold off until Sunday. So, John, it's going to be a fun weekend. Just keep it safe, be smart. We should have a good time.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. We'll check back in with you in a little bit. All right. We told you yesterday about a cruise ship passenger who seemingly disappeared in Juneau. Tonight, she has still not been found.
From the air, both the Alaska Wildlife Troopers flew our helicopter, as well as the U.S. Coast Guard flew a helicopter in the area.
Search and rescue teams in Juneau have been searching for 62-year-old Ninetyeight Fire, who did not return from a hike near Mount Roberts on Wednesday. The Department of Public Safety says she told her family she was going to hike Gold Ridge, but she never returned. Today, more than a dozen professional volunteers from Juneau Mountain Rescue and Sea Dogs, along with Alaska State Troopers and Juneau police officers, started searching again. Drones, canines, and ground teams have so far revealed no sign of Ninetyeight. And we are just hours away from President Donald Trump signing the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. Alaska's delegation supported it, saying that it will mean Alaska development and good things for the economy. Our political reporter, Will Courtney, continues his coverage, and he tells us not all Alaskans are on board. Will.
The delegation saying the president's spending bill will mean things like Alaska jobs, reduce inflation, and better tax rates. But just outside of the Anchorage office today, the consensus was worried uncertainty. Bill opponents, including those who receive Medicaid insurance and SNAP food assistance, part of a news conference just outside the delegation's Anchorage office. The Alaska's Food Bank CEO is worried.
The motion is adopted.
Yeah, we're definitely disappointed in this bill that's passed because of the huge cuts to SNAP and Medicaid that are present in it. I know a lot of work went into trying to improve this for Alaskans from our senators, but ultimately it's still going to be damaging. I think the help doesn't go far enough, and it will harm Alaskans, and not to mention people around the country.
A week. Well, some of these provisions have, in terms of Medicaid, in terms of SNAP, work requirements of 20 hours a week for able-bodied individuals who do not have dependents, who are not disabled, who do not have mental health challenges.
Congressman Begich also reacted today. Bill opponents have been using an estimate by the Congressional Budget Office to say as many as 40,000 Alaskans could lose their Medicaid health care. Some supporters have disputed those numbers, though. Representative Begich today saying Medicaid cuts were isolated to what he called a very small population. He said they're able to work, but choosing not to. Begich said, quote, "To those folks, I say, look, be a part of the solution." Going on to tell them to, quote, "get a job or volunteer." John.
Will Courtney reporting for us. Thank you, Will. And still ahead on Alaska's News Source, we're talking 4th of July celebrations, including one happening tonight. Plus some things to keep in mind if you're taking a road trip or flying to a faraway place for the weekend. Tomorrow, thousands of people will ascend Mount Marathon, climbing an elevation of nearly 3,000 feet. It's an annual tradition in Seward for the nearly, 100 years? We're going to head down to Seward as our team, the sports team, prepping for a big day. What's up, gentlemen?
Yeah, we're here just outside of Seward High School here on Mount Marathon Eve as the countdown to the races is now under 24 hours.
Yeah, racers flooding in and out of this building. Let me tell you, it is a madhouse downstairs for signups right now. And already talking to a few of these racers, just that very few, you can tell they're excited to tackle this nearly over 3,000 foot elevation. It's going to be wild.
Insane, and we're kind of in that Goldilocks climate right now. Not too cold, not too hot, just right. But there are reports of snow, and you can see it right here with snow and ice coming down on that mountain as well.
I think I see it right there, but you maybe see that traditional butt slide coming into play. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. For sure.
And we'll be circling back in the late edition from a different location in Seward as these 4th of July festivities continue throughout the week, so be sure to circle back for that.
Jordan Rodenberger, Tyler Lane, thank you guys. The 4th of July festivities are hitting Eagle River earlier than other parts of the state. And Georgina Fernandez joins us now from Lions Park in Eagle River as the festivities kick off. Look at Georgina.
John, we are literally jumping into 4th of July festivities early with Bungee Bounce Alaska here at Lions Park during the 39th annual 3rd of July extravaganza. Now, this event just kicked off at 6 o'clock and it's already just filled with people coming out to check out vendors like this one, in addition to food and live music that's going to be going on until midnight. And then we're kicking off 4th of July with a bang with their annual fireworks show. Now, folks, if you live in Anchorage, Matsuya Borough, or in the Fairbanks North Star Borough, just a reminder, you cannot have fireworks this year with the exception of Houston. John?
I'm just impressed. She did not stop bouncing. Georgina Fernandez, very talented. Have fun. Thank you very much. A lot going on out there. But tomorrow, the big day, numerous events happening all across the state. And our good friend Tracy Sinclair, that's her name, over at the digital desk with details. Tracy.
Yeah, Alaskans really know how to have a good time, obviously, on the 4th of July. So here are a few of those events that we haven't mentioned yet. Here in the Anchorage area, of course, the 4th of July Parade and Festival begin tomorrow at 10 a.m. The parade starts at 11. Melissa Fry and I will be your MCs, and we're going to have many of us from Alaska's News Source, Channel 2 and Channel 5 walking in the parade. Of course, the Girdwood Forest Fair is happening this weekend. Parking is always an issue, so you might want to check out the shuttle from Anchorage or a free shuttle from the Day Lodge to the Forest Fair. Lots of fun, live music, food, and some cool local artists. In Valdez, fun run in the morning and the parade starting at 11:30. In Ketchikan, parade starts at 1 p.m. Community leaders Dolores Churchill and Mary Moran have been selected as grand marshals for the 2025 parade. But I have to say, I think the place to be is Skagway. They've got a pizza throwing contest, an egg throwing contest, parade, a slow bike race, and yes, a spike driving competition. Sounds like it could draw quite a crowd.
We're certainly a big tourist town. We expect just over 7,000 passengers tomorrow. But Skagway knows how to handle this sort of volume. They do it right. It's all about hospitality and having fun. So there should be a good mixture of locals and guests that are experiencing all the events tomorrow.
It really sounds like a lot of fun. And if you want to go onto our website, we've got a more comprehensive list of some of the events happening across Alaska.